Right, the Jewish Chronicle. I'm sure we've all heard of it. One of the most inaccurate right-wing rags we have in this country, to the point it got fined so much it went bust until some vested interest bailed it out and put it back into circulation, more's the pity. And no, it isn't anti-Semitic to say that. It's a fucking newspaper. Anyway, it rose to prominence in its attacks on the last Labour leader worthy of the name, on Jeremy Corbyn, that contributed to the anti-Semitic attacks upon him in order to bring him down. It was, of course, a scam. It was always a scam. And it still is a scam, as 3 years after Corbyn left office, he's still living rent-free in the heads of many in the neoliberal establishment class of MPs and media loudmouths. Joining in on these attacks, of course, is the miserable excuse for a Labour leader that took over, Keir Starmer, who has kept Corbyn out of the Parliamentary Labour Party despite being cleared of any wrongdoing by a right-wing panel of the then Labour National Executive. It's long been viewed by those on the left who have left Labour, utterly disgusted at the factionalism and weaponisation of antisemitism that we have observed, that has been evidenced in the Labour files, and the Forde Report is just two examples. The Starmer has done this for no other reason than to be seen as establishment-friendly, backed up by all the selection stitch-ups that have been happening around the country. But if you thought being part of that Corbyn shadow administration would be forgotten, that his craven actions would be overlooked, then it would seem that karma has finally tapped him on the shoulder, as the Jewish Chronicle has now gone after him. Apparently, he cannot be forgiven after supporting Corbyn whilst he nearly destroyed Anglo-Jewry. I must have missed the bit where Corbyn started tossing grenades into synagogues, for example, but hey, facts haven't mattered before here. This rag even managed to get a bollocking from IPSO, and that's a media watchdog literally run by the media themselves. Apparently, Starmer being a part of Corbyn's front bench, despite him succeeded in bringing his leadership down for his own ends, is what makes him cynical and untrustworthy. Not the actual deed of pulling a Brutus to Corbyn Caesar and stabbing him in the back. What Starmer failed to realise when he aligned himself with such people and their thinking is they're fundamentally conservatives. The JC, the Board of Deputies, they're anti-left. And despite not being of the left, Starmer is seen as being of the right. And perhaps they're now looking at Sunak and choosing their side. If they side against Starmer further going forward, well, karma will be a bitch. And who would defend you then, Keith?